Hello everyone, I'm reading chapter 10 today of Codename Bananas, and chapter 10 is called A Rude Magic Trick. Finding an escaped gorilla in the dead of night is hard. The bombing raid had woken up every single animal in the zoo. Even though the Nazi planes were now heading back to Germany, the animals could not be calmed. The parrots were squawking, squawk, and the lions were roaring, roar. And the elephants were hooting, hoo. So it was hard to know where in the zoo Gertrude might be just from listening. There we go. There are the animals there. But Eric had an idea. Ping! As soon as Batter had disappeared into the distance, Eric grabbed Sid by the hand. This way, he hissed. Hold up, said Sid, clanking along. Sid clanking along, I can't talk today. Sorry, I forgot, said the boy. So do I sometimes, until they get rusty. Clink, clank, clunk. Moments ago, Eric had broken into the zoo's snack bar to fetch some raisins for Gertrude. As he climbed out the snack bar window, the bag of raisins had been ripped. The gunshot had spooked the gorilla, but if she'd followed her nose, she may very well have found her way to the trail of the fruity treats on the ground. Eric and Sid retraced the boys' steps, but even using Sid's torch, they couldn't see any. Perhaps the pigeons had got them. Or maybe, just maybe, a much bigger creature. The pair hurried past the flamingos, round the meerkats, and along the warthogs to the snack bar. The snack bar window that Eric had forced open was now flapping in the wind. You don't think she's in there, do you? Asked Sid. Shh, shushed the boy, before nodding his head. The pair tiptoed over to the window. Sure enough, there was the gorilla, slumped on the floor amid a massive mess of food. There were bags and wrappers everywhere. Gertrude was alternating between swigging from a bottle of fizzy pop and munching on some jelly babies that had been scattered all over the floor. Burp, burped the gorilla. It was as loud as thunder. It even shocked Gertrude. The gorilla had clearly never had fizzy pop before. Ha! The pair at the window couldn't help but burst out laughing. Gertrude looked up, startled. Huh? She gurgled. Shh, Gertrude, it's just us, whispered Eric. He dashed to the door. Locked, he said. And I don't have the key, replied Sid. How are we going to get her safely back in her cage before Batter sees her? We'll have to climb through the window. At my age, spluttered Sid. I'll help. Here, give me a leg up. The old man sighed and muttered to himself. The boy couldn't work out what he'd said, but it sounded like one of those rude words grown-ups sometimes say that children aren't allowed to. Eric put his hands together to form a little cradle and gestured for Sid to step on it. The boy had seen cowboys do this when mounting a horse in westerns, and it looked like a doddle. However, Eric was not a strapping cowboy, and neither was Sid. The man certainly was not helped by having battered old tin legs. So after a wobbly start, poor Sid ended up falling through the open window, the back of his trousers getting caught on the hook. Whoosh! Like a magic trick. A rude magic trick. The old man's trousers and undercrackers were yanked back as he slid downwards. Ah, my body! He exclaimed, and he landed in a crumpled heap on the floor. Eric should really have had his serious face on this moment, all kind and concerned, but he just couldn't. Instead, he burst out laughing. Ha ha ha! Now, the laughter is infectious. Either that or gorillas find wrinkly old bottoms funny, because Gertrude burst out laughing too. If you have never seen a gorilla laugh, it is a wonderful sight to behold. They rock their heads back, they bare their teeth, and they thump on the floor. Thump, thump. Help me! Cried Sid, still lying on the floor. The boy unhooked the man's trousers and then climbed through the window. He helped him up. Clink, clank, clunk. And slowly the pair approached the gorilla. Burp, she burped again. The boy caught a whiff. Pooh, he moaned. Gorilla burps smell bad. Wait until you smell what comes out the other end, remarked the old man. That really pongs. Ha ha, laughed Eric. Anything to do with bottom burps always made him chuckle. So, how are we going to get Gertrude back to her cage? Said Sid, surveying the scene. The gorilla looked perfectly content, gulping and guzzling away. Burp. This one was pongy enough to sweep you off your feet. I've got an idea, exclaimed the boy. If Gertrude followed a trail of raisins here, she might just follow a trail back. Bingo! The boy beamed with pride before looking around the snack shop for any more bags of raisins. Unfortunately, Gertrude had already demolished all but one. Eric seized the remaining bag and waggled it in front of the gorilla's face. Gertrude, he said in the sing-song voice that everyone adopts when talking to animals. Yummy, scrummy raisins. Let me see if I can get this door open, said Sid. He didn't want to risk his trousers coming down and the world seeing his bottom again. The man found the spare key on the shelf and unlocked the door. Click. Done it, announced Sid, turning back to Eric and Gertrude's. Raisins, called out the boy. Nice juicy raisins. With that, he scattered some raisins in the gorilla's path. Just as Eric had thought, Gertrude stood up and began lolloping towards them, picking each one up and munching it down. Munch, munch, munch. Eric smiled. His plan was going exactly to plan. He scattered some more raisins all the way to the floor. Sid stood proudly saluting by the door, ready to open it like a doorman at a posh hotel. This way, madam, he chirped as he swung the door open. What none of them realised was that standing on the other side of the door was Batter. The old soldier squeezed the trigger of his rifle, ready to fire. No. You'll have to watch tomorrow's chapter to see what happens next.